Welcome back, guys, and today we are talking about the warrior cavalry setup, and we have some options here. We will be talking about Timur, we'll be talking about Attila or DJJ. Some people even use Vlad in this lineup, but I consider it to be off limits for me because Vlad is way too good in the pikeman lineup, so for me that is not an option. I have tested them all, and I have come to the conclusion, which I will share with you in a second here. But before we dive in, let's give a huge shout out here to Lucky V2, who won the last giveaway with the comment, I would like a video about if you only had $50 to spend every month, what things would you buy in the shop? So congrats on that. Make sure to send me your government UID and your server, and I will transfer the Apex to your account. Okay, so let's have a look at the lineups. In fact, you know what? Let's have a look at, let's answer that question real fast. So if I were to spend 50 bucks a month, I would go into the battle pass here. I would definitely go for the Kingdom Sword every month. I would get the cheapest pack here. I would not spend Empire coins to upgrade it because this provides just huge amount of value here. You get some hammers, you get some medals, you get stuff for your gear, for your skills, you get XPs, you get speed ups, everything that you really need. A little bit of everything, so over time this will be beneficial. Then the second thing I'd get is actually the heroic expedition. I'd buy that on a weekly basis to get this currency coin here, which you can use in the store to buy the heroes you need. Now if I were to start over, I would focus on two lineups, and that would be Lubu, Attila, and Guan Yu for the early stages. And then I'd replace Guan Yu here with Zhao Yong. Then the second lineup I would get is actually Sun Tzu and this Philip, I believe it's called. Yeah, this guy. I would not 5-star him. I would just put him in the lineup until Zhuge arrives, and then I'd use Theodora here. And if you buy if you buy these on a weekly basis, you would get 200 there and 2000 there, so you would get like 8,800 of these coins. So if you are looking to max Theodora here on a monthly basis, you would be able to get 88 medals for her. So that's huge. It increases your chance to actually 5-starring your lineups for your two main marchers that you will be using in events, etc. And in Apex Arena, these are two really good lineups. If you use Sun Tzu, you can use it open field and in rallies. Same thing applies for Lubus. It's very versatile. Two very good lineups to have for low spenders. If you can get Ramses, of course, he is a little bit better open field, but kind of worthless in a rally. Not worthless, but less effective in a rally than Sun Tzu. So if you get Sun Tzu, you have the flexibility of using it both open field and in rallies. Okay, so now half of your budget is spent. You can have a look at this limited time bounty. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So here you can get, if it has hammers and medals and some technique points and gems and all of that, you'd buy that, obviously. And then you have here what's called the Citadel Saga. I don't know if that name has changed, but usually this is something of value here that you need for the current setup. So for me right now it's torches, so this provides some value, so I'm getting that. And then last thing is the monthly pass. So you get the monthly pass here. Both of them provide value over time. You get some Empire coins, some speed ups, XPs, stuff for your gear, stuff for your skills, and then pretty much your budget should be nearly spent. You could have a little bit left over here, and that would be, in that case, I would look at maybe unlocking a hero here for possible third lineup, which could be Cyrus, Barbarossa, and Mansa Musa, for example. So probably unlock him, or maybe you need Guan Yu, right, or Theodora. So once in a while you could use that to unlock a potential hero that you need. Otherwise, last option here is the custom gift, where you can have some flexibility here in terms of what you need, so probably speed ups or something. That's what I'd buy. Okay, but we were supposed to be talking about the warrior cavalry here, so let's get back to that. The most commonly used is still Lu Bu, Timur, and Zhao Yun. And the reasoning for that, I believe, is that many people 5-star Timur, and it is somewhat making the lineup less glass cannon, so more friendly open field. If you're going to be using open field, well, using Zhao as a commander is kind of like using a Vlad as a commander for Cyrus. It is going to be a little bit better 1 versus 1. However, I think that for rallies, you don't use the commander skill, right? So Zhao makes no sense using him as a commander. So people use Lu Bu as a commander because he deals the most damage, and you want to have him as quickly as possible dealing damage in a rally. So the reasoning why people are using Timur is because they don't have to make any changes to it, because it's quite decent both for rallies and for open field, because Timur provides some damage reduction, he provides some healing as well, and some critical strike damage. So it's not a bad hero per se, but if I were to do it all over again, I'd probably, if you think of the investment cost for Timur, I think I would probably just keep Attila and focus on getting the right adornments and the right mounts and the right rings to make it a little bit more, give it a little bit more sustain, and it would be for me most likely a pure rally march. I do think like this lineup was dominating season 2 and season 3 open field, but then as soon as Cyrus came, this guy needs to hide a bit in the open field. He's going to die way too fast in the swarming situation, etc. So he is turning into a rally march. And talk about rallies, obviously Lu Bu, DJJ, and Zhao is the rally monster you're looking at, because that is actually, in my opinion, not in my opinion, the tests have shown that this is most likely the second best march after King Arthur in a rally right now, and it synergizes really well with King Arthur and swordsmen in the lineup. Pikes are almost non-existent in the rallies these days because they get absolutely smacked by all the swords. And let's say in a distant future you might actually have an archer hero that will be really, really good in rallies, so it makes sense to have warrior calves in rallies. Okay, let's have a look at the different heroes. I want to show something. I've got a lot of questions in messages about the mounts. What kind of mounts should I be using on this lineup? And I will answer that. Army Sunder is the one you want to get, because when you look at what kind of damage these heroes are dealing, they have secondary strike might damage, right? They have normal attack damage, they have critical strike damage and all of that, and this will benefit all of those damage. So this skill alone is like having 3 traits on your mount. So this is absolutely the best one you can get, and if you could get a second one here, You can get creative. You can have one, let's say that you have the Boiling Blood adornment on your Lubu, which provides some healing. Then you could have something like after your troops are healing, you get some damage reduction, or you could have something like troop healing effect, or you could have one with secondary strike damage, or with let's say critical strike damage, whatever. But if you only have one trait, this is the best one. Okay, let's have a look at the skills real quick here. He has a great commander skill where he attacks up to 5 enemy troops with 230% might bonus, and he also can deal some critical strikes. Okay, his signature, however, is passive. It doesn't deal any damage, but it increases the critical strikes here, the customizable skills, so that's these two. And there is also 100% chance to deal one more normal attack. Okay. The customizable skills, secondary strike. So that means that you would use secondary strike gems when you have a look at these two skills. They are both dealing damage, and they would both benefit from the secondary strike here. Okay. Now, if we have a look at Zhao Yun, I'm running same one here, Army Sunder, but I have a secondary trait, which is for the passive skill might damage increase. And I will show you right now what I mean by that. So if you remember Lubu, he had a passive signature skill, but it wasn't dealing any damage. This one, however, is dealing damage. So here I would actually go with passive gems, because it would benefit the signature skill. And also when you look at his two other customizable skills, so you have the Dragon Manifestation, this is a secondary strike, but the thing is here, if you read the skills, you will see that it doesn't deal any damage. The skill itself doesn't. What it does is it alternates between these effects, so increase the activation chance of all your hero's customizable secondary strike skills, which is good, especially for Lubu, and immediately uses the other customizable secondary strike skill, excluding signet rings, but then reduces damage by 15%. So either one of these or both is good. And then the last one is Pain Blood. This one actually deals damage, so you could consider, let's say, having one secondary strike gem on the lineup, or two passive and 2 secondary strike, so it would benefit this. However, I'm running pure passive here. Okay, let's have a look real quick here at the gems. So I'm using attack because it's a high level of attack. Then health, unit capacity, might of course on Lubu, secondary strike skills, and then a mix here of secondary strike skill, might, and health. For DJJ, using here health, unit capacity. I do have 2 all attributes here and 1 strategy, because that benefits her signature skills. She is strategy based, and she will also buff your 2 other heroes. We will be looking at her skills as well. Then of course healing and health, all attributes, and troops normal attack damage, because it's a high one here as well. Real quick on Zhao Yun as well. So attack, you could here opt for defense as well. I'm using the attack ones because I have some high level ones, and they are useful on this lineup. Okay, might here, and then passive, as you remember, because his signature deals passive skill damage, might damage. Then troop normal attack damage here again, and might, and some health. Okay, for the rings, I'm using the Daisy. Really cheap ring, should be one of the first blue rings that you max out Actually, I'm a little bit ashamed that I didn't max out the Nightwolf ring. Super great ring here that will benefit especially the Pain Blood skill and the 2 other customizable skills by Lubu here. This one, easy to max out as well, makes this lineup really free to play friendly and low spender friendly. If you would run here Attila, then of course you could run the Ring of Beer here, another purple one that's cheap, that will increase the commander might damage, and it's a good ring. Or you can consider here to make your Attila less glass cannon, the Tranquil ring, right? However, for DJJ, I'm actually using the Celestial one because it increases the might damage dealt by your 2 heroes with the highest might. In this case, that would be Lubu and Zhao Yun. And also you get a flat damage reduction here. You get some good defense, some health, and damage overall. So I'm using that for rallies. Turns out this is great. Let's have a quick look at the mount here for DJJ. I'm using the healer armor. Ideally, I would like something here as a secondary strike after healing reduces damage or something like that. That would be great. And I'm using the resistance on her in defense. Her skills, amazing here. Signature skill recovers 350% with strategy bonus, and also reduces your troops damage taken by 15%. This will be in effect at her 5th star, which is huge. If you want to run this lineup, you need for a hybrid build, you always need all heroes to be 5 stars to really benefit from it, because you are going to lose out a little bit on the damage, a little bit on the attributes when you mix heroes. But this also scales from strategy bonus. So the damage and the healing here is absolutely sick with the signature skill alone. But then with the customizable skills, I add Immortal Army, which is another healing skill. And then I add Peaceful Haven here for damage reduction. Now, if you want another ring here, a cheaper version of a ring, you can also use the Ring of Falcon, which would benefit also the healing effect, and it's a defensive ring, so that's also possible to use. Now, this makes this lineup so incredibly tanky that you provide Lubu with enough time here to deal all the damage, and Zhao Yun is also going to put himself and Lubu in the double attack state so often that just by surviving this long, it will deal so much damage. It will actually feel like you're hitting the Trojan, and the health bar in a rally here will just go. It will almost be not noticeable, because the health bar is going to stay up for so long. It's going to live for quite some time. You do have less and less pikes in the rallies because they are mostly dominated by swords. So this is a great addition to rallies. It synergizes really well with all the swordsmen in there. If there are archers, they are going to get absolutely wrecked. And let's say in the future, if there is a crazy archer, then this will always be useful in a rally. Currently, second best march in a rally after King Arthur. So that's something to consider. Okay, so that was a little bit on the warrior cav. And like I said, go for Attila. It is cost effective. I don't think Timur is worth the 5 stars. I do think that you can make this work great with Attila either way, and it is a hero that is useful, that you will probably have at 5 stars already, and it doesn't make sense to have Timur here at 5 stars. So A bit disappointed in Timur. Now I do have Timur, so I'm using it because I do like tanky lineups. I do like rally builds with healing. If you get the adornments here, let's have a look at the adornments. If you get the boiling blood for Lubu, like I said, that is going to, let's have a look at that. That is going to be something that you will notice that in a rally, because after the Mountaineer deals critical strike damage, he will recover your troop, but he will also increases the hero's secondary strike skill damage by up to 15%. This is this is the best adornment for that lineup. You would be using that on your Lubu. The second best to use here on Lubu would be resistance, actually. But the second best adornment on the lineup would be Chain Slayer, something that you would use on your Zhao, and that will benefit your Lubu. So after the mounted hero activates 3 customizable secondary strike or active skills, increases the next hero skill damage. So if you're using, let's say, Lubu, Timur, and Zhao Yang, well then this will benefit Lubu. So the importance of where the adornments are placed on what heroes and where they are positioned does matter. And this is why people are using Timur, because he needs that secondary spot. So let's have a look at Timur real quick. We have Attila, but where is our friend Timur here? There. Okay, so when he is in the secondary spot, right? So for the first 9 seconds after entering battle, increases the hero's damage dealt by 40%, reduces your troops' damage taken by 15%. Okay. Every 9 seconds thereafter, increases the hero's damage dealt by 30% when serving as commander, and here reduces your troops' damage taken by 15% when serving as second in command. So this is like a middle ground of DJJ and Attila, really. You keep that 100%, 180% damage when you have all heroes as warriors, so you don't lose out on the damage, but you provide some damage reduction, you provide some healing. So this is why people are using Timur. But do I think it's worth it? Not really. Attila will do great, and most of the time your Lubu is going to be in a rally and not on the open field. That's the reality of things, because it does not do that well when it's being swarmed. There is too many pikes out there on the open fields, so it's not really cost effective. Where you will deal the most damage is in rallies. So absolutely useful lineup and something that most players should have. It's still like a great damage dealer, but unfortunately not doing the best open field. Now this might change when a new hero is released. I've heard some gossiping around a new warrior cav hero coming that is supposedly replacing Lubu, but I'm not saying replacing, but what I mean by that is that it's dealing more damage than Lubu. And so in my mind, I think that could be a new commander, and then you would have Lubu in the secondary spot, and you would have Zhao Yun in the third spot, and that would actually be amazing. Now, we haven't talked much about Vlad. You can use Vlad in the lineup as well, but for me that option is non-existent because he is doing so well in the pike department for me. Even though I have tested him in the cav lineup as well, I don't see the usefulness in that. I do prefer running DJJ, Attila or Timur, to be fair. So however, it is not bad for a rally, but it is bad for like march management. If you're running Cyrus, you really need your Vlad in there, otherwise you are missing out on too much damage, too much on the passive skills, and yeah, so it's not really an option in my opinion. Maybe in the future, let's see what happens when new heroes arrives, but for now I do prefer using DJJ. Okay, so that was the adornment parts. We've covered the gems, we've have a look at the different builds, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment down below what you would like to see next, and see you in the next video. Bye.